Likewise.
And Ida. Hi, Ida.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, Grimsby lady. I'm going to spotlight you because I want to see all that thread that's up on your shelving.
That's awesome.
That is beautiful. Are you a long armor?
No, I am not. I make wedding gowns and weddings.
And bridesmaids dresses and all of that. So you get lots of pretty yummy colors in there.
Yes, lots of color. Yes.
Beautiful. Did you buy that contraption, that fabulous thread holder, or did you make it?
My husband made that for me. Yeah. Yeah. It surrounds the room.
Oh,
wow.
Surrounds the room all the way around.
Why?
Oh, that just would make my heart happy just being there with all that color.
Lots of color.
They do road trips. It's only several hours to Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to come to Kentucky myself, but
All right. Good. I'm going to stop the spotlight here. Oh, goodness. Do you want to see the thread? Have I showed you the thread thing that my husband made?
no, I'd love to see it.
Oh, okay. Hang on. It's hidden. Let me get a few people in the waiting room. Admit all. Hang on. Admitted everybody. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Looks like a thread tree.
It is a thread. Exactly.
You see the one stem trunk.
Right. I used to have it in color coordinated, from all the different hues and the different values of it. He made it for me a couple of years ago, and my sister, who always makes fun of me for being really OCD, an AR. She looked at me and she's like, Rain Man.
He just doesn't understand thread collecting.
She just thinks I'm crazy, and little sisters, that's what little sisters do, right? They think other sisters are crazy and they just pick at you. That's what they do. Here we go. People are still logging in. This is great.
Awesome.
19 people. Marilyn, how are you, girl?
I'm doing just fine.
Awesome.
Doing just fine. It's a dreary, rainy day.
in Mississippi. Are you in Alabama? Mississippi?
I'm in Mississippi, and I'm just glad to have something to brighten my day.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah. Elaine, hi, lady.
hi there.
How's the weather?
We had rain all day yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, we did
in
too.
the banana belt. Yeah.
Oh, we've got a lot less snow now.
Good. And there's my buddies Joanne and Carol. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Raining here too.
Yep.
It's got through a snowstorm, and so shoveled this morning. So,
Oh,
Be careful. Yeah. Hi, Candy. Hi, Grimsby girl.
Hi, how are you guys? All
Doing- Diane, hi. We see your pretty pink hat, and oh, there you are. It's good to see you.
Hi. I've been having trouble getting on, but apparently I'm here now, so that's good.
Yeah, we can see you. Looks great. And let's see who else joined. Catherine. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you.
I will turn on the camera shortly.
Yesterday I washed my hair, that old commercial, and I can't do a thing with it. It's just like right now. So anyway, I thought I'd comb my hair and put a little lip gloss on. So, okay. Well, it's good to see everybody this morning. I've been looking forward to this. Can't believe it's the end. We're closing in on the last part of February. But I hope, my husband always says, I hope you're enjoying the moments because they're just flying by. And I'm like, I am. So, but I truly think that, one of these days I'm going to be 80 before I'm going to wake up and go, oh, how did that happen? So
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Goes fast.
Yeah. What's been happening in your world? What kind of work are you guys have to show us today? Anybody got any? First of all, let's start with the Elizabeth Taylor emeralds. Anybody got some emeralds to show?
I
Okay.
do.
Okay, let's do Michelle, and then Carol, and then Diane. Okay. So Michelle, I'm going to spotlight you. You are spotlighted. Oh,
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Mm,
beautiful.
very
I
nice.
love the
Quilted and
quilting.
everything.
Thank you.
that is lovely.
Very pretty.
Now you did a stipple this time. In other ones, you've done
Yes.
round circles.
Yes, I did a stipple this time.
How do you like it compared to the round ones?
Oh, I like it just as well.
Okay. How did it come together for you?
Much easier than the last one. At least I didn't lose these pieces like I did last time.
Yeah, it's amazing how they disappear, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
There's tons of places that they can get lost on. And however, I did address that in my book. So on page 75, there's a long list of things to do. The piece comes up missing because there's nothing worse than going, I've just spent all this time doing it. Now I can't put it together because I've got one little piece missing. That's just so frustrating. So your pieces are beautiful. Are they Kona or your color is beautiful?
Yes, it is.
I think they are Kona, yes.
Very, very
You
nice.
changed your color values. So you went to the green, more to the
Yes.
green.
Mhm.
More
Looks
to the
very-
greens.
Yeah, I really like it. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
It glows. You know, when one of the things I'm experimenting with is when you put something a color that's high saturation, meaning it's the purest color, as opposed to having some gray values in it. If you put a high saturation color and surround it with gray values, it glows, and your emerald glows. It's really pretty. Well done.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I'm also admiring the lamp behind you. It's very neat.
Oh, thank you very much. One of my favorite lamps.
Okay, so Michelle, thanks for sharing that with us. Carol, we're going to do
Yes.
Carol and then Diane, and then we'll get another group of people.
Okay. Well, and I keep hearing about losing pieces, and I'm a chemist, so I think science, and there's matter. And I think the first or second law of thermodynamics is matter can neither be created nor destroyed. So if you lose it, it hasn't disappeared. It is somewhere. You just never find it.
But it could have evaporated.
And
What was that?
It could have evaporated.
Yeah, well, it transforms. So there's mine.
oh,
Wow.
So I
Oh.
went with pinks, and I always do tone on tones. So I went with pinks, and I love a gray with pinks. So I did that one little gray piece. So
Very pretty.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
I
There.
love it. So pretty. Keep it up there.
And the-
Keep it up there. I just want to keep seeing it. It's really pretty. I really love the little sparkles in the little.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a what's the fabric? I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's an ombre that goes from center to the edge and on both edges. So the center is
Confetti?
light. No, it's not confetti. Its center is light, and then the edges are dark pink. And
Mhm.
so, and then not only are they darker, but there's tons of stars in the dark and just a few stars in the light. So it's kind of a fun.
Oh,
So
check that out.
yeah.
How did it come together for you? Are you happy?
Oh, this one was no problem. It was easy. So
Good.
yeah,
good,
the
good.
last one was a lot harder. So
I have one other question I want to ask you, but anybody else have comments?
I recognize the purple with the splotches from your last, the
Ah,
larger. Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Okay, that's I think bumbleberries.
It's very cute.
Louis and Irene bumbleberries. So
What size is that?
this is 9-inch. I usually do 12, the largest, but this time, Well, I've done these sewing machine covers, and so I'm thinking of making this out of a cover, and I thought it would be a smaller size, so I went with the 9. So
Very nice.
So beautiful.
What is the
Thank you.
background color?
the background,
Mhm.
this,
Is it a white or a light gray?
yeah, it's a white with swirly flowers in it.
Okay. It
Let me
kind
get
of looks,
closer. Can you see it?
yes.
Yeah.
A tone on tone. It looks a little bit like a light gray. I don't know why I'm seeing it that
Ah,
way. And I've been
okay.
experimenting with, playing with white backgrounds, black backgrounds, and then more of a medium tone or a light tone, like a light gray. And I'm finding that sometimes the white on the back of my quilts is or on the background, it deepens because lights and darks, when they're put right next to each other, they accentuate the lightness and the darkness. So for example, the quilt that I'm working on now, the Whitney Flame that you helped me put together, I was thinking of doing a white, but it really, when I mocked it up on the computer, it made the reds look too dark. I didn't like the way it appeared to my eyes anyway, was just a little, and then when I put a real silvery gray as the background, it just did everything. Black was too much. Black didn't make it pop enough, but the light silvery gray, it wasn't quite the contrast, so it almost lightened up the reds. Does that make sense? I'm really experiment that, and I'm putting together, Elaine, a class about that, and maybe we'll do, like I think I mentioned, that we'll do a class and we'll play with that a little bit. So, but yeah, very cool.
I would love that.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, and then we're going to do Diane.
I did. Yes, this was so much easier. So I did a green. I'm
Nice.
trying to get it. I still am picking out paper. I did not do it the other way, like I said I was. And I even have occlusions in my emeralds.
Yes.
Which, emeralds they always have occlusions. And then because my mom's birthday, her 97th birthday is next Monday, February 28th, and she loves, amethyst, she did. She has dementia. But so in honor of Valentine's Day, amethyst, everything, I did this wacky one.
Oh,
that
I
one's
did it
very
in-
pretty.
Very nice.
But I am still picking out paper. But this one was just because I wanted those colors.
It's fabulous, really.
But it was so much easier, and that's why I decided to do 2. And I really like the color, the diamond one you did, with the soft, whites, and I might do that too. Unless we get a clue as to what we're doing next time.
Well, you and me both. Actually, I do have a clue. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I was just, usually I get them done about a week before, and Marilyn will attest that sometimes I get them done the day before. Marilyn,
well, and I'm super excited that you're doing the finishing technique, because I was thinking about leaving them all until the end of the year, and because I'd like to make a big one. I think
a big quilt with all of them.
A big quilt with all of them in it.
Perfect.
Or whichever ones I decide should be in it.
Yeah. Are you doing multiple sizes, or are you going to do all 18 inches?
I'm doing them all big right now.
Perfect. Yeah.
That reminds me, I had a pattern I found from somewhere that, hold on, let me get it.
Okay.
Well, and I was just reading about Napoleon's and Josephine's engagement ring.
Okay.
I thought there's a drama queen for you.
Yeah.
which one? Napoleon?
Napoleon?
Well, Josephine, but apparently it was sold in 2013 for about $1 million, and they put it on auction for 20 grand, which was crazy.
Wow.
And it went for close $950,000. They said so. So there, just thought I'd pass that on.
Was it an emerald or a
It
sapphire?
was a sapphire, actually a sapphire right next to a diamond. So 2 teardrop stones.
Oh man.
Oh,
Try to find that and put that on Facebook.
Ooh,
Great.
that
Okay.
sounds like fun.
Yeah.
which reminds me, how did the auction go for that blue stone that you put on the Facebook?
I don't know. Gonna have to find that out.
You didn't get it?
Little tight on cash right now, so didn't quite have the 50 million that I needed. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Diane, here we go.
I don't know how I got this pattern, but it's yours. Pinwheel Princess block, 6-inch square. Does that come in the bigger size?
It does. That actually, you probably got that from Sulky. I did that a couple of years ago as a Sulky
Probably.
webinar kind of a thing. That was actually one of last year's 2021 Diamonds and Drama Queens patterns. So a number of other people have that who were in it last year. I need to get my rear end gear and get those patterns up on my site so that you guys can download them. I'm probably going to put a little bit of a price on them, you know, so if you guys want to do the whole set, or if you just want to do one or two, that's fine. They'll probably be like, you know, $10 or 8 or 9 or $10 or something like that. And then you'll get all 3 sizes, because we just did 3 sizes for Diamonds and Drama Queens last year. We did 9-inch, 12-inch, and 18-inch.
No.
No.
That
Well,
one's
yeah,
6.
Tiny Treasures was 6.
No, that was a
And-
Tiny Treasures. You're right. You're right.
Tiny Treasures. But
Right.
then at the end, the Diamonds and Drama Queens, or this year, you've given to us with all the sizes, 6,
Right.
9, 12, 18, whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's a Tiny Treasures pattern. So sorry about that. So let me make a note of that, and we'll keep on doing our thing here. But let me make a note of that so we can.
Because this one is beautiful. I love this.
Thank you. It's inspired by a spinel, a beautiful platinum spinel. We talked about.
You're
spinel.
probably right. It probably did come from Sulky too, because I bought your kits originally from Sulky with this cute pen.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's next? Who has other stuff to show us?
I have
Well,
a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Josie, do you want to show us what you got? And then Joanne will get to your question.
Well, I didn't do any yet this year, and I was debating because I knew the February pattern was going to be the easy one. And I thought, no, I have to start with January and get that out of the way. So
You're
I
a hard
just,
taskmaster on yourself.
well, I used to, and I still pretty much do, when I'm doing a series of classes, I try to not skip any and do them in line. So I'm not real happy with this. I feel like I've lost my gemstone mojo because I haven't done it for a while. But here it is.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice.
And I heard quite a few of you saying you wished you had cut the corners larger, so I did. And I think I can always trim it down. And with the ones that I did in Tiny Treasures, I still have a few of those to catch up with. I rarely got the paper caught in the pieces. This time I had probably, I'll bet, a half a dozen that I caught in the seams. So, you know, I just knew that my technique wasn't quite up to par. And of course I wanted it to be perfect, and it wasn't. So I was a little disappointed in what I did. I don't know if one of these days I'll redo it, but I might. But I have a question for all of you about pressing. Do you press every section, after every section, or every quarter, or do you wait until the end?
Anybody?
I press every time I put 2 seams together. I find that keeps me more organized, and it looks better, and yeah, it's for me it's the best thing.
Or at the very least, before you cross another seam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah.
And I did buy the acorn product, and I used that when I put some of the pieces together. That I realized when I was cutting them out that a lot of these small pieces had a slight curve to them.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't always a straight line.
Okay, all right. Hey, real quickly, can I make a comment? Hey, dear Marilyn, we're hearing a little static from your camera. So do you want to put yourself on mute until, but don't not talk, but if you could mute yourself, because we're hearing a little static there. I had to see, I can see your screen pop up when I'm hearing the static. So would that be all right?
I got to figure out how to do that.
Okay, well, I can do that for you. So I just wanted to ask if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, good. All right. And then unmute yourself or wave and I'll unmute you and then we'll do whatever. Okay. All right. Thanks, Josie.
Sure.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well done. It was a tough one to start with this year, but you guys have done a fabulous job.
I like the colors, and when I saw it at the end, I thought, I wonder if I really did this correctly. So I went back and looked and matched my fabric colors, and I thought, oh yeah, I guess I did do it correctly.
Good. Awesome. All right, who's next?
I got mine done, actually. Couldn't
Okay.
believe it. I'm still deciding about the pictures. So, we'll see. But there it is.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice.
Not good.
How did it go together for you?
Actually, the freezer paper way. So I'm putting the freezer paper on the back. And it was a breeze. It was just so simple.
Right, because yours is reversed. I see the little bright spots on the left rather than on the right. So you did it the Ruth McDowell way. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Can you come a little closer to the microphone? You're cutting out.
Word you're saying.
Oh, you are. I'm so sorry. Somehow your microphone is you were fine at the beginning and now it's kind of it's pulling out or it's cutting out.
Seems to happen a lot today, so
Okay. It's beautiful. I love the blues the blue value that you put in there as well. I wanted it to kind of go to the blue greens and it's
Yeah.
really pretty thing.
I'm trying to decide if it looks like an emerald, but it's a gem.
Oh, I think it looks like an emerald. It looks just like the Elizabeth Taylor emerald. Beautiful. Yeah. Sometimes we look at these things so often, isn't it? Sometimes it's just like, okay, what does this look like? Because we're studying it so much, it loses its gem quality. We're seeing the individual pieces and not the whole. So I totally understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
I think you have to stand way back from it, like, put it in the other side of the room, and then suddenly it's going to turn into a gem. Yeah.
Exactly. My quilts require, my big quilts require a long sight line. And when I was first doing my quilts in my little bedroom in the house we had before, I was maybe 4 feet away from the wall. And do you know how you know what you do to get yourself that long sight line if you don't have a long sight line?
You blur your eyes a bit.
That's good. That's good too. You take a pair of binoculars and you turn them around the other way and you look at them through the big end.
Oh,
Good one.
A door, the little peephole in a door does the same type of thing if you don't have binoculars.
Yes.
So if I actually bought a little one to just use to look at.
Very cool. Well, great. Who's next? Joanne, you had something you wanted to say, right?
Well, I have, I put together all my tiny treasures from last year. So if you don't mind all that motion behind me, because I have it pinned up in the other room, but that means the dogs are going to join us.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's
And unfortunately, I have it pinned to the drapes, so the light is coming behind it. So I don't know how well you're going to
It's
see
glowing. Oh, wow.
Oh,
it.
wow.
Let's see if I can get it with the camera.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Oh, wow. You have to find it. There it is.
I
I
really
have
love
to look farther away to
Looks
get it.
beautiful, Joanne.
I'll put a picture on Facebook. I can't seem to get the bottom of it. So there's the
It's
bottom down there.
beautiful.
What
Oh,
size did you make, Joanne?
Well, those are all 6-inch blocks.
Okay.
So it's a 48.5-inch piece.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Beautiful.
My goodness.
And you're going to do some fabulous quilting.
It's
in the middle
most
of this.
beautiful.
I am going to quilt the daylights out of this.
Nice.
But as you can see, there are a couple of renegade blocks on your right. There's the diamond from Diamonds and Drama Queens
Right,
and the freebie diamond on point pattern
right, right.
because I needed 16 blocks altogether.
Excellent.
Love the
And,
ones on the bottom. Wow, those are so cool.
Well, and there's the, let's see if I can get it.
That one.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is the one that you have from Sulky.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
okay.
That yellow one just glows, Joanne.
I love the orange. Yeah, I love the
Yeah,
orange one.
Orange and yellow.
They look like gems. They look like they're glowing.
Mhm. Well
Beautiful.
done. Well
Okay, I'm
done.
finally figuring out how to move this.
Well, it kind of brings
So-
back fun memories, doesn't it, of last year?
Oh, they're just so,
Beautiful.
No,
Oh
And
my
as you can
goodness,
see,
and
I
with the
used
dragon.
a modeled background piece,
mhm.
and I'll probably use like a smoke thread.
Lovely.
But I made a chart for it.
There you
Oh,
Mm.
Because I will I'll plan the quilting out on that first.
Nice.
And that's from other quilting classes and courses that I've taken. So that it'll be a heavily quilted custom piece when it's done.
it's
are you
beautiful.
putting in the
And if it
middle?
comes out half as good as I have in my mind, you know, I'm considering that I would try to show that piece.
Yay! Wonderful, wonderful.
So
Congratulations, Joanne. It's really pretty. I love the fact that you
Thanks.
solved the setting problem, that you were like, what am I going to do with all these? So
yeah, well, that was part of it, you know. But and I'll say, you know, it's been what, year and a half now. I've been working on gemstones and stuff like that, and it gets easier, it gets better. And each individual block, even though they're all trimmed up and you're going, wow, there's a lot of seams in there and it doesn't lay as nicely as you think you would like it to. Once you put it all together like this, all that stuff goes away. You know, it's just like they say, you know, you'll quilt it out. But
Cool.
there are some there, if you look, you go, well, the lines aren't totally, you know, perpendicular and all that stuff, but it's the way it's meant to be. And, you know, I'm really very pleased with the piecing, you know, how it came out. So we'll see if I can, you know, not screw it up.
congratulations. You won't screw it up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Well done.
It is.
Well done. Who's next? Who has something else they want to show us? Ida, was that a yes from you?
No, I
Okay.
have nothing. I have not, I haven't even chosen my colors yet.
Shaming here.
Hey, Ida.
What do you want me, what should I show? No, I can show you something.
Okay. And first of all, while you're doing that, I just want to say hi to Brenda. Hi, Brenda, you snuck in. Good to see you. And Kay snuck in. Fabulous.
It's a bag full of colors undecided.
Ooh. First step.
And there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. So,
Lovely. Well, good. Let's see. Elizabeth has just joined us. Okay, admit. All right. Anybody else?
There's
Anybody?
a hand up.
I have a question for you.
Okay, Marilyn has her hand up, and then someone who said, I have a question. Let's get to you. And who was that said, I have a question?
Cynthia?
Cynthia, okay. Hold on, Cynthia. Let me get to Marilyn real quick, and then we'll get to you, okay? And I'm going to
Okay.
unmute. Oh, dear Marilyn. Can you unmute? Off of-
Unmute. Yeah, I did it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I got my hope finished.
Yay.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
I'm working in the 12-inch size this year, which is unusual because I've either done 6-inch or 18 inches in the past year, but I like the 12-inch size. It's working real well for me. And those curves on the outside edge were very smooth and very easy for me this year.
Good.
I'm very happy with it, but I'm waiting on my fabric. I understand is in the mail, so it should get here and I'll get right on the emerald real fast.
Good
Can you
deal.
hold it up again?
Say again?
Could you hold it up again?
I love the turquoise shade.
So do I. So pretty.
Mhm.
It's
gotta
so
make me
simple,
proud.
That's beautiful.
so
The
beautiful.
diagonal really comes
Oh, it's so
across.
flat and so nice.
Mm.
Oh, you pretty grays that you use. Your grays
Oh.
are so pretty too.
Thank you. I'm the oddball person who presses all of my seams open.
I did
It
some
works.
of that too.
It works for me.
Yeah, I pressed a few open.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Marilyn. It's always so good to see you.
Pretty.
Thank you.
Catherine. Did you have a question?
No, I didn't have a question. I was just clapping.
Oh, okay. Okay. Was there someone said I had a question and I thought it was someone. Oh, Cynthia. I'm
That
sorry.
was me. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Probably a couple questions, but first of all, I have not done my emerald yet, but I do have my Maximilian's Folly.
Oh my God.
Oh,
And my
Very good.
question was, I have a lot of greens, more than just what's in here, but how am I gonna really pick to make my next emerald different?
Mhm.
I don't really want to use these same colors.
Mhm. Mhm.
So just pick a different, maybe lime instead of this.
That would work. You could
Well-
also, somebody else used a blue, some blue tones in with their greens.
Or more pure green, more saturated green, because I think the Maximilian Emerald, I did design it so that it went towards the blue greens, and you have captured that perfectly. And then emeralds also come with more just a pure green, and when they start moving, then sometimes they have a little bit of the yellow green in them. If you get a little too yellowy in it, they kind of start looking like peridots rather than emeralds. So maybe thinking about swapping out some of the blue for a more of a pure green, or like a Kelly green, or maybe
Kelly green?
Mhm.
Okay. And that brings up another question. I think you mentioned making a color cross-reference chart to the new, maybe they're not new, the Free Spirit solid
Okay.
colors.
Yeah, Free Spirit. Okay.
I've got access to a lot of Tulip Pink solids and Free Spirit solids.
Okay.
And not so much of the Moda Bella anymore. I get some, but
Okay. Okay.
I actually am working part-time at a quilt fabric store. So it's like a candy store. So I'm real excited, but I since I have access to more colors, I wanted to try to experiment with a wider set of colors, or even taking a pattern that has 5 colors and pick 7 or something like that.
Right. Fabulous. And you know what you can do if you want to add more colors, because mine are going to be just maybe 6 or 7 colors plus a background color. But you could actually say, okay, I'm going to take this value that's assigned to the letter C, and I'm going to assign 2 colors to it. And I'm going to pick randomly where I'm going to drop those 2 colors. And
Well, I did that on this one, but I'm not very happy because I don't know if you can see it. They're too close. I got too monochromatic in here.
Okay.
So I don't feel like I have intensity.
Okay. Okay. Well, a good lesson.
but it's still
learned.
a beautiful gem.
It
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
Thank you. Red Cross. And I thought about taking it apart and taking this out because it hits me too hard.
Okay. Okay.
But I has anybody ever taken one apart? Just start over,
No.
right?
Start
Yeah.
over.
Okay.
What I do is I do it section by section, and then I hang it up and say, do I like it? And that way,
Okay.
then I audition the sections first. Now, it looks like in that one, if maybe we can kind of brainstorm a little bit about what maybe some issues are. You said it hits you too hard. I think there's too much, well, there's not, it's beautiful. Let me just say that. It's
Well,
spectacular.
It's not my favorite, but
Okay. You
because
have a
of my
lot of
color choices.
you have a lot of light values, and then you have this dark value. It seems as though there might be a gap between your values between the lightest and the dark. So you might think about working in a medium, more medium tone, while that batik or that model or that tone on tone looks like it's a medium. It does kind of skew towards the lighter side. So maybe something between that one and then the dark gray, that might help balance it out just a little bit, even though I'm not a big fan of balance, but in terms of getting the value contrast, it might help.
Well, this wasn't a favorite choice, but because I didn't want to put orange in it. I was trying to go more lemony yellow, but I couldn't get a dark in that.
Yeah.
No, again, I'm playing with color.
Good.
And some of them are not as successful.
And you know what? My quilts are the same way. Some are less successful than others. And this is, I want you guys to be playing with this, and experimenting, going, oh, I think I might do this differently, which is why I love working in a series. This is really an exercise in working in a series. So you can say, that wasn't as successful I wanted to. What could I do? We'll help you brainstorm. And then you can do something a little different the next time and say, what was it that you did differently that you thought made it more successful?
Okay.
Good.
Cynthia,
yes.
If you don't mind, the emerald one, you wanted to make the next one look different?
Yes.
Even shifting the values so that the light is lighter and the dark is darker?
I wondered about that. Do I need more contrast in my?
No. Just if you wanted another one that looked different, just changing the value scale would change the whole.
Mm-hmm.
And I know MJ's mentioned that a number of times, whether you go right down to almost white for the lightest.
Mm-hmm.
That would also be a way to make the same fabrics different.
Okay, good idea.
Let's do one or two more, and then I'll dive into my little gallery.
Can I make one more suggestion to that discussion?
Yes.
Is I make sure I always use your color chart page, and I always, lay my fabrics out, and then I always make a color chart. I have a color chart with the fabrics glued to that piece of paper. Make notes on that piece of paper in case for future reference, even if you don't remake that gem, what you did that you want to change, that this color needed to be, and then use your color wheel to decide it needed more brown in it. It needed more orange in it. It needed more green in it, or to be a clearer color, more pure color than, the grays or the go to the yellows and those kinds of things, and that comes with, doing these for more than a year. You realize, like MJ just said, it didn't come out the way I thought it was going to come out, or it looked okay when the fabrics were all stacked, but in the gem, it doesn't glow, or it doesn't shine, or it's not as impactful as I wanted it to be. Make notes for yourself for the next gem, whether it be that one. And one other tip I found in taking another class is, and this is Estherita Austin, who does a lot of landscape and 3-dimensional looking quilts. Fabric paint can change the color.
Yeah.
You can go into a finished piece now, and you can overlay color onto your fabric, whether it be that you want it to be more lemony,
Yes.
punch up the yellow, or make it more intense, or, a little white to kind of soften something like that. You can still change that gem if you want, if you want to take that chance,
yes,
with
I actually
fabric
got
markers
my
or fabric
paints
paint
out. Yes. I was gonna try that on some of those
Sure.
lighter yellows that.
But it's beautiful just the way it is. They're all going to, blend and change as you grow with your color confidence.
Yes, thank
Excellent
you.
suggestions. And I love the idea of making notes and then maybe think about putting them in a file folder or like in a 3-ring binder. And that's going to be, so you have them easily accessible. And then you've got your little library of your gem notes. So cool.
If I can make one other comment.
You bet.
Before you go playing with changing because it doesn't look quite right to you, put it away somewhere you're not going to see it for a week or so. Because when you bring it out and see something fresh, like you were saying, you can be too close to it when you're making it. And when you see it up on the wall a week or two later, it can look so much better.
Excellent.
Okay.
Another idea is to take a picture of it. I don't know what taking a picture of it does, but it just makes everything so much better. And it changes the way you look at it.
Yep.
I should do that. I've taken pictures of all of them, but that yellow one, because I just wasn't happy, but it may look better.
You see more of the image and less of the thread.
Yes. Yes. It's the same thing of getting that long sight line, right? It flattens out the picture and your eye doesn't see all the, the little lights and the darks. It flattens it a little bit until your brain responds it.
Makes it objective.
Like seeing the forest for the trees.
There you go.
Okay.
Good job, you guys. I love this conversation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and if there's one last chance, if you want to show us something, then I'm going to spend the last 15 minutes going through my little gallery facing tutorial, if that's okay.
I hope Diamond is done. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's West Coast here, so it's early. I hope Diamond is done. It's up there.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Fabulous.
The paradox.
Beautiful gems.
Oh,
wow.
Beautiful. How did you feel? How did you feel it went together for you?
With difficulty, a little bit of difficulty, not much. It was just putting the quadrants together. I had my seams were not right angles, and that's why there's a cheater strip down at the bottom there.
Okay.
See, there's like that strip down at the bottom.
You can't see it though on the black. No, not your camera.
I actually could have made it so you couldn't see it at all, but then I thought I might might as well throw in a little light when I put it. So wait, I can't figure out how to do this.
There you go.
Not very good with it.
All right. Beautiful.
Oh, I don't know about computers. There we go. See, there's a strip down at the bottom, like right there.
Okay.
Vertical.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Oh, within the gemstone, you put another gemstone in there.
I had to like rebuild the bottom because it didn't fit. Because I must have sewed something wrong. But anyway, it's fine. I decided to add one that you could see for just a splash of color. Why not?
Why not?
There's two cheater strips in there. One you can't see and one you can, because both my seams came so I sewed the quadrants together, but then my seams looked like this. They came down and then out. So there's a big wedge, like a pie-shaped wedge. What causes that? I mean, I'm pretty careful with my sewing. It's just like, okay, I'm not that, I'm pretty careful. So I don't know, I couldn't account for such a big and 1 inch, nearly 2.5 inch gap.
I don't know. I can tell you that with all the different wonky shapes and seams, they do get a little shifted out of proportion sometimes. And what you've done is a perfect solution. Brilliant.
I had to rebuild the bottom, but then I had to unsew the black around it and rebuild that too.
Well, excellent. Perfectly done. Perfectly done. I've been enjoying your Pacific pictures too. Susan, you're waving. Do you have a comment? And you're muted.
I wanted to ask Catherine a question about the green gemstone she had on her wall.
You mean Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, yes.
Oh, okay. I get a lot of being called Catherine. My daughter's Catherine, and she gets called Elizabeth.
And I don't know her daughter.
It's so funny.
It's that green one. It looks like it's a face, or I can see 3 faces in it, swooping down. It's really clever because you can see, you can't see what I'm doing, but there's two eyes there and there's eyes staring straight at you. And
Oh, that's cool.
That's the
it's still morning time. I haven't hit the wine yet, so it's, it's a sober thought.
It's done peridot, isn't it?
Yes, it's the peridot.
Yeah. It's from that
Beautiful.
birthstone series, her magnificent birthstone series.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I'd ever seen anything like this. So I decided to make it. Only when I bought the materials and the patterns, I wasn't able to do it yet because we had just, it was a long story, but it was first of all, I wasn't confident that I could do it. So I set it aside until I felt more confident and discovered it wasn't that hard anyway. It's just work, but not like I didn't have to be like super advanced the way I thought. And I can also do them without pinning one single thing, which works for me. I hate pinning.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, that might actually be a clue to the gap.
I would have thought so, but I don't know.
Okay, well, try pinning next time and see if it.
Try the acorn glue, that seam glue, not the seam glue I use, and I just glue a whole bunch of them together, and then I daisy chain them, and then I press them, and I find that does a better job than pinning.
Perfect.
It keeps them straighter.
Perfect.
You have a 1/4-inch foot, Elizabeth, on your machine?
I don't use it. I eyeball it. I don't like the 1/4-inch foot.
That actually could really make a difference, just the 1/4-inch foot, because that's so exact that all your seams are the same. And that might help with the gap.
That's true. I've never used it. I should.
Oh, I can't live without mine. I use it for everything. I love it. You might love it after a while.
Yeah, I've never tried it.
Well, let's work on our, I'm glad those are fabulous suggestions, Elizabeth. But again, I just want to congratulate you for, working out the issue there and dropping in an extra facet, which makes it all the more unique for you. So
it worked. Well, I didn't have a choice. I couldn't like force them together, or I would have had the top coming up like, big
a volcano. Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get to that gallery facing tutorial. I promise.
Are you putting something in the Smithsonian?
I know I am having two, I'm doing a new series inspired by Smithsonian gems.
I bet your series could end up in the Smithsonian though. They should
fingers
put
crossed.
I would think so.
Your stones, they should be in the Smithsonian.
We'll see. From your lips to God's ears, right? Is that the saying?
Guess.
I'm working on that.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. All right. Well, here is a little presentation that I put together a couple of years ago for my gem affiliates. And this is finishing your quilt with a gallery facing. I love to finish my quilts with this type of a facing because it gives it for me, a contemporary look, a clean look. I do love traditional bindings. I love putting on binding, especially when I can listen to music or I can do whatever. But for me, I'm trying always to give people an understanding and convey that these are meant to be on the walls. They are not traditional quilts. And so this is just one more way that I can help people make that leap from traditional quilt to art quilts. Okay. And I think it really helps them hang in any environment, whether it's, a museum or a gallery or a private collection. So here's the presentation to add a gallery facing with mitered corners. So this is a little mini quilt that had been pieced for a long time, but not finished. So I thought I would use it to get this done. This is an example of the treasure hunting I like to do deep inside images of lovely gems. Here's the quilt. Here's the gem that inspired the quilt, this beautiful little crystal. And then I honed in on this little area and I rotated it. And I love these three kind of triangular stuff. I love the contrast lights and darks. And so I made this little quilt. So first thing you want to do, hey, why don't we all, actually, I'm going to do this. Let's go ahead and put everybody on mute. Hang on. Let's see what we got here. And mute all. There we go. All right. So you guys, if you have a question, unmute yourself, but I'm going to put everybody on mute here. All right. So first thing you'll want to do is trim all the raw edges to the desired finished size. Then you'll cut 4 2-inch wide strips, the length of the side plus 4 inches. What that means is you'll have enough to go across the, along the side, but then you'll have a 2-inch overhang on either side of the quilt edge. What I do is then, after I've sewn all those little strips together to the desired length, plus 2 inches on each side, I turn up and iron a long edge of each quilt by 1/4 inch. And basically I turn it to the back side. I turn it to the wrong side. Okay, so it's like a little hem. Okay. Then you lay the unfolded edge of the strip along the edge of the front of your quilt. So here's the little hem down here, and you can see I have lined up the unfolded edge of that strip along the front edge of the quilt. Then you're going to mark each end of the strip in 2 places, at the very edge of your quilt and 1/4 inch in from your edge. So you're going to have this little gap, this little 1/4 inch gap. You're going to do that on either side of the quilt. And then pin the strip to the quilt, placing a pin in the mark that's the 1/4 inch inside the edge. So you can see here's my little outside edge mark, and there's my little inside edge mark. Same on the other side. I'm going to pin it. And these are my visual clues that this is where I'm going to start my quilting or my stitching. I'm going to start at the 1/4 inch in mark all the way down to the 1/4 inch in mark on the other side. What I like to do then is pull back the end of the strip that I just sewed so that it's out of the way of the strip that I'm going to put right here, because you don't want this to flop over and you don't want to sew over it. You're going to pull it back because eventually you're going to do the same thing, 1/4 inch in mark, and you're going to sew right to that 1/4 inch. So again, as I just mentioned, sew a strip to the adjacent side, starting and stopping 1/4 inch in from the edges, and the 2 strips should not meet up. I'm sorry, the 2 strips should meet up at the edges, but not overlap. Do you see how this is where I stopped and start on this side? This is where I stopped on this side. They just touch, they just kiss right there. You don't want to overlap them. And again, this is for mitered corners. This is one of many ways of doing a gallery facing. So don't, if you're like, ugh, miter facing, I don't want to do that. There's other ways, and they're all on the internet. Then basically I fold each strip over itself to create a 45-degree angle. So you see how I've taken the edge of that strip, I folded it back over itself at a 45-degree angle here. And then I press to create a crease. I finger press, but you could probably put an iron on that just to create a nice crease. That actually will, that crease is going to serve as the guide over which you'll pin and sew to get your mitered corner. So bring the 2 folded edges of the quilt together so that the creased folds align. So basically I have pulled those 2 corners together, lined them up, the creases up right here. Do you see, this is the point of my quilt. And I've actually, this is one edge and the other edge is on the other side. This is actually the kind of the body of the quilt. I've kind of pulled that out of the way and I've pinned along this crease line. And then you'll want to sew from the folded edge of the strip to the corner. So basically you're going to start at the folded edge and you're going to go right to the corner, but everything's pulled out of the way, right? You see how I pulled this edge back and all the little stuff under there and all of this. So you have to kind of slow your roll and pull those edges away, because if you don't, you're likely to grab the edge of it on the back side, like I did here. And like I said, I love my ripper. This also shows that I've clipped off those little edges, those strips. So it's now a nice mitered corner and you don't have those long strips there. I've cut it off a 1/4 inch away from the mitered seam line. Okay. And then what I sometimes do is I'll start at the corner of the quilt and stitch to the hem line. I'll just flip it around and try to go the other way. You just do what you can do to get it done. Okay, then I remove the bulky fabric in the corner by clipping on 3 places. These dog ears, these little dog ears right here, the corner of the quilt sandwich, just kind of gonna just pop that off. And then basically I also do the edges of the quilt. I taper it down to the point. And all I'm doing there is trying to get as much bulk out of that little corner as possible. Then I'll turn the quilt to the front and I'm going to iron the facing strip away from the quilt top. So you see, I have it laying on its back. You can see this is the front, and that whole facing is still laying on the front of the quilt. And as I'm take my iron and I'm going to iron that away. Now, you're not going to be able to get all the way to the corner there because of that little envelope, but try to do the best you can to get up under there and iron that nice and flat away from the quilt. Then on the front side of the quilt, with the facing strip pressed away from the quilt top. And again, what we're looking at here is this is the front top. And I have pressed that facing strip away with my iron. What I'll do is place a line of stitching, just a needle width or so, in the facing strip. This is a tailor's trick to help you turn the facing. So I'm going to just pop a line of stitching just right down here. Then what I'll do is turn the facing to the back of the quilt and gently push the corner to a point. Then I'll turn the quilt to the back and work the facing to the back with just a smidge, a term of art, right, of the quilt top showing at the edge. So here now, this is the back of my quilt. I've turned that facing to the back and I'm now just kind of pulling it down a little bit so I see just a little peek of the front of the quilt on the back. Pin the edges in place, and here's a peek at what it will look like from the front. So this is the back, this top picture is the back with it pinned, and then here is the second image inset is looking from the front, and you can see where I've pinned it. Then I'll hand stitch the folded edge of the facing to the quilt. So I'll just go ahead and sit in front of the TV or in my front room or on the patio and just whip stitch all the way around. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to do with these Smithsonian quilts, because I put a red velvet on the flame and a gray velvet on the Victoria Transvaal, something I promised myself I would never do again, because I did that for Between River and Sky. I put a heavy rusty velvet on the back because I wanted it to lay flat. Well, when you're turning all of that velvet and that facing and the velvet, the backing and the top, man, those edges get real fat. So with Between River and Sky, I actually did a top stitch, and I top stitched all the way around just to get that thing laying flat. So I'm probably going to do that with both of these. Is I'm going to do another, after I hand stitch it, I'm going to top stitch this all the way around, just right around here. So I'm going to stop share, and there you go. You can all unmute, and oh, it's called understitching. Diane, thank you. Fabulous. Good deal. Okay, questions about that?
Afterwards, do you have to hand sew a hanging sleeve?
Yep. And I put a hanging sleeve on two sides. I put it on the top and I put it on the bottom because I often want to, if it's not hanging perfectly, if I haven't blocked it, and if I haven't done a perfectly, what am I trying to say? If it's not hanging flat, there's a little wavy in it, I'll put another rod sleeve at the bottom and then put another, like a board, like a molding strip there, just to hold it flat so it hangs flat against the wall. Again, it's another indication that this is a piece of art to be on the wall and not necessarily a quilt. Now, there are some people who purposely design the waves into the bottom of their quilt because they want it to look like a piece of fiber. Me, I just want it to be straight. So I'll put a rod sleeve at the top and I'll write top on it, because when you send it to galleries or places that you're going to exhibit it or shows, they want to know which is the top and which is the bottom. So I do put top and bottom on both of those. So since I have two, it confuses people. So that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, is putting my strips to my Smithsonian and hand stitching it, and then putting my rod sleeves on the back. And then Friday afternoon, I'm taking it across the river to my photographer, Tony, and we're going to take some pictures of them. They're going to be ready for their close-ups. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll take pictures and I'll put it on the internet for on our Facebook for us. I do have a PDF of this I created, and I'll put that in our on our pages. Would you like that?
That sounds good.
Gallery facing. I think the dog likes that too. Excellent.
Yes, I was hoping you would do that. I was like, oh, what do I do? Screenshot? What do I do?
Yeah, I'll put it up once I put a recording of this up, and I'll put the PDF as well of the gallery facing. So you guys.
Can I ask a favor?
Sure.
When you send us the recording, in the caption, the subject heading, could you say with facing presentation? So if we want to go back and
sure,
in a couple months, trying to figure out which one it was in.
Perfect. I will do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, good deal. Well, congratulations, everybody. I'm so excited of your progress. It's beautiful work. You make me so proud. Makes me so happy. And I just love the fact that it's bringing you joy to make these. And Joanne, congratulations again on your beautiful full setting of your tiny treasures. It's really beautiful.
Question.
Yes.
I've seen, so in your book about the gemstone quilts, there's this magnificent one called the Maker's Flame. And do you have a plan to release a pattern for that so that people like me who are like drooling over this could actually make it?
Actually, that is one of my art quilts, as all the quilts in my art series, like the Diamonds and Drama Queens. I'm sorry, no, sorry. Strike that. As in my Bourbon Diamond series, my Angle of Repose series, and now my Smithsonian series. Since those are all one of a kind, I won't be doing a pattern for those.
Darn. Too bad.
Yeah.
I didn't think so, but I thought I would ask.
They paid a lot of money for that. And so if I turn that into a pattern, they would probably be very angry with me. So,
oh, got it.
Yeah.
MJ?
Yeah.
I've been hearing of, it's an acronym where they sell the digital rights, but they keep the actual item. Have you looked into doing that at all?
No, I haven't.
So they will auction it off, and what they have bought is the digital, not copyright, but they own a digital copy.
Okay.
I think those are NFTs.
NFTs.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the initials.
So the funny thing is, Stephen Colbert had a funny segment on that last night. I don't know if you caught that. He talked about NFTs and he said, well, now I'm going to do this. And this is actually called an AFT, because he doesn't understand NFTs and the whole Bitcoin stuff and the whole digital stuff. So he calls it an AFT. And do you know what an AFT stands for? An actual fucking thing.
That's funny.
So anyway, all right. So basically, all right. So NFT, I'll look into that, but I'm not sure that I understand it enough to do anything about that. So, all right.
All I understood is you could sell your art quilt digitally, and yet you keep it.
Interesting. I wonder if that would drop the value. If someone if there's a lot of digital stuff out there, if that would drop the value of maybe a collector who wants the AFT. I don't know.
I don't, I've heard a few things about it, but I don't understand it myself.
All right, you guys, it's been fun this morning. I wish you the best. I hope you get some stitching in today. And you guys are the best. Thank you for all the great discussion and the suggestions and the recommendations. That's what I love about you guys. You get a lot from you all. Okay.
Have a great month, everybody. Look forward to seeing you all in a month.
All right.
Thanks, MJ.
Have a great day.
Bye.
All right, everybody.